Symptoms are communication. They're not problems. They're not breakages. They're communication. They're your body saying, hey, I've been compensating for these imbalances for so many years and I can't keep up anymore. I need help. That's what symptoms say.
We can often think of leadership as an external skill, but our biology is actually the ceiling of our leadership and our life experience. In this episode, Cynthia Fluck explains why the symptoms we often ignore, or basically push through, are actually vital gifts of communication from our bodies. By changing how we look at our health, we can actually reclaim our vitality and lead from a place of actually true resilience.
This is Leadership Sound Bites. Real leaders, real moments, real growth.
Welcome to this week's episode of Leadership Sound Bites. My special guest, third time back, third time's a charm. Third time's a charm. I'm just sure of it. Cynthia
Fluck. Yes, you can say it Fluck. I know it sounds like a bad word.
Okay.
My husband's very worth it.
I'll start again. I'll start again.
No, you don't have to start again.
So I won't, but I love your hashtag title, Holistic Transformational Practitioner. The name is in the back, Crescent Holistic Health. Fluck. I'm so afraid of stepping near that word.
I know.
I just say the F word. So can I just say Cynthia F? What I love what you said is the first time we met with how to pronounce your last name, and you said, yeah, Fluck, and you also said, and he's worth it.
Yes, he's worth it.
Which I think is freaking awesome. So, welcome to our third conversation. Like I said, I'm excited about this topic. You have a quote to kick us off, and then we'll kind of dive in what we've been talking about. And you've been posting about it more recently. The health aspect of it, or the control that we have over our health and how it shows up in leadership. So I'm super excited about this. It's all you, ma'am.
Yes. The quote for today is change the way you look at things and the things you look at change.
So explain for people who don't necessarily know what a holistic transformational practitioner is. What do you do? And how does that quote relate to or highlight what you do for us humans that are leaders we're leaders of our own life, actually. So even if you don't have people reporting to you.
So I combine functional medicine, full certification in functional medicine, with certifications in energy healing to approach a person's health holistically. I work with middle-aged women who have been constantly told they're fine, but have not been feeling well for a really long time. I help them get to the root causes of their symptoms and naturally reverse those so they can get their vitality back on all levels, mind, body, and soul.
I love it. One of the things that was interesting, because I put into Gemini just the whole idea of what you do and then the audience here with leadership. And so if you got a male referred to you, do you not treat men in the holistic function?
I do.
Okay, that's what I thought. So you've got to focus on females because
it just tends to be it just tends to be most of my practice.
Yeah.
I tend to find that females resonate better with the energetic side of things.
Yeah.
And males tend to be a lot more skeptical with it. It doesn't mean it won't work. It's more of an uphill battle to get to where we're making a lot of progress.
Yeah. There's a little bit of resistance there. And I think a lot of it too is anecdotally, and I for others, but I know with me, my personal experience is you go in with symptoms, and some practitioners or doctors could refer to them as complaints, right? And for me, there's a completely different energy around symptoms and complaints. Complaining feels like you're in victim mode, just suck it up and move on. Symptoms these are facts of what I'm experiencing. And so can we pull that together along with whatever these labs are and everything else going on to say, okay, what is actually happening here? Because my recent experience, and I'll share this with you, I had a ton of labs done. Traditional medicine doc, nice guy. I'm talking like 6 vials, right, worth of labs. All this stuff came back. And I had a complaint about, can't drop this weight, diets, all this stuff, everything's great. Did all these labs, stuff came back, And his message back after all these labs came back is go ahead and work on weight loss and we'll recheck in 3 months. And I'm like, did
Well, I
you
should.
not hear me? I mean, I'm like, that's the thing that I'm working on. And so it was an interesting thing. So I went what some humans do is I went into AI and I said, you are here's all my labs. I want a view from Western medicine, holistic medicine, and Chinese. Tell me what's going on. And there were obviously different views. And to your point is, here are meds you can take of what's going on, or here's the underlying stuff in your biology. And that's where it came to is this idea that our biology is actually the ceiling of our leadership. And I'm going to say our life experience. And so it was an interesting thing. But if I didn't have access to that, I would go, oh, I guess I have to keep trying the thing that's not working for me.
Right. Well, your story made me laugh, and it shouldn't, because I hear the reason I laughed is because I hear that all the time. Like I can't tell you, but 99% of my clients come to me and say, I'm at my wit's end. Like I've been to specialists, I've been to doctors, they all tell me there's nothing wrong with me. They tell me all I need to do is eat less and exercise more, and I have no energy, I can't sleep, I can't lose weight, I've got brain fog, I'm miserable all the time, I've got anxiety and depression, and they just this laundry list of things that just they can't function. And it's just pure willpower pushing through every day, trying just to get through. They have no resilience in life. And going back to the quote, change the way you look at things and the things that you look at change. You're asking for a synopsis of what's going on with you from all these different viewpoints. And they all say something different. Well, they're all right. They're just looking at it from a different perspective. Right? So your conventionally trained doctor is looking at this from a viewpoint of, I want to see those labs within these certain limits. And if they're not outside the limits, I can't diagnose you with anything. I can't prescribe you anything. Therefore, I can't help you. Just go lose weight.
Yeah.
Right? That's how he's trained. It's not that he doesn't want to help. He just doesn't know how, because conventional medicine does not train beyond that viewpoint. So from a functional perspective, I don't even use labs as a diagnostic, because labs only picture or a snapshot of you at one moment in time, at the time of that lab draw, with the exception of a few markers that reflect over a longer period of time. But most of the time, you're taking that blood draw or that sample or whatever you're collecting, and that's a snapshot in time of what's going on in your body at that exact time. Well, your markers fluctuate, hormones fluctuate, neurotransmitters fluctuate, everything fluctuates. So I use these labs to look at after I look at you as a unique individual with unique patterns, with unique lifestyle, with a unique set of genetics, right? Your unique set of symptoms. And I put together a picture of what's likely going on with you at a root cause. And then I go look at the labs and I see what is and isn't supported and what we can and can't validate, where the labs might be reflecting the same picture I'm seeing in your symptoms, where the labs might be showing us some nuances that I didn't maybe consider before, where the labs might actually be erroneous based on maybe you had white coat syndrome when you went and got your labs drawn, so your cortisol is higher than it normally would have been because you were stressed out because of the doctor's office, right? That happens a lot, So I'm looking at it from a much different viewpoint. I'm not looking for a diagnosis. I'm looking for patterns.
It's interesting because I look at over the years as I've been exposed to more, learn more, whatever it is. And I remember way back in the day, the first time I heard the biggest organ in your body is your skin. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't, because my knowledge at the time from school, because I was a kid when I heard it, was organs are heart and kidneys and liver, and they're
Yeah.
organs, not this coating or coverage that we have on our body.
Yeah.
Thing that hit home for me was um this radical idea that I heard that scared the crap out of me, actually, is whatever you put on your skin goes into your bloodstream.
Yep.
And think about that for
Depending on
just
the
a moment.
molecule, it can be within your internal organs within 30 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think about that, though. I mean,
Your
literally, when
skin's a
I
big
heard
mouth.
that, yes. And so I thought, and there was a program I went to I think it was Eric Edamondes. What he talked about is, if you're not willing to put it in your mouth and eat it, don't put it on your skin.
Right. In fact, it's safer to eat it than it is to put on your skin
Isn't that crazy?
because
So I went
your
and all of a
digestive
sudden
system
I
is a closed,
filtered I
is
filtered all these
filtered. Yeah.
things that it's like, okay, I'm not going to put that on my skin. I'm not going to put that on I mean, all this stuff that before then it was like, it's just my skin. It's not my body.
No, it's a permeable membrane. It's absolutely a
Crazy.
permeable.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And the more imbalanced you are inside, your skin is also a direct reflection of your gut health. So
Thank
when
you.
people
That was
get
the other piece. Go
Yeah, so
ahead.
when people get the microbiome, you have a microbiome on your skin just like you do on your gut. So when your gut microbiome is imbalanced, so is your skin. And that can cause a lot of permeability in your skin, which can allow more toxins in through your skin than would normally get through. But when people have rashes or eczema or psoriasis, it's almost always a direct reflection of something going on in the gut.
Which here's the positive side of knowing that you can do something about it.
Yes. Yes.
See, that's the, I mean, when I look at this stuff, I think, okay, these are signals, warning signs. It's almost like when you get pissed off, right? You start to feel this place in your body, that a knot in your stomach. Some people have tension in the shoulders. Some people get flush face. I think the flush face happens after the initial triggers, but those are all indicators that something is off. Right.
Right.
And the same thing with what your body is saying. And if we start shifting how we look at things, like plenty of people I've talked to go, for instance, well, I'm 60, and it's like, that's not the reason this stuff's happening.
Oh, age is just a number.
Exactly. And so if we start shifting that again, if you change the way you look at things, don't look at it like this explains that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that, people we're programmed from the time we pop out of our moms to be afraid of our own biology. You look at movies and you see the doctors walking around like gods and saying, "Oh, you have XYZ rare disease and you're going to die," right? And so people are trained from that time to think that if I have a symptom, there's something really, really wrong with me, or the other way, I have a symptom and I'm going to just ignore it because I don't want to know what it
Mhm.
means until it gets really bad, and then it's harder to reverse later. But we need to start looking at symptoms as gifts,
Mhm.
and by the time your body exhibits a symptom, it really needs help.
Mhm.
So you've been neglecting it for a long time by that point.
So what do you recommend? So there's two different questions in my brain. One of them is, what are some major success stories that you're looking at going, this is a completely different human after going through this stuff? But the other part of it too is, what do you recommend that we pay attention to that maybe we haven't, that we kind of blown off, like it's a no big deal, or it's just part of X, fill in the blank?
You mean symptom wise?
Yeah, symptom, feeling. Yeah, I guess you can call them all symptoms. Feeling a certain way, this thing's happening. Because I think a lot of times we just kind of write it off or make excuses for things and don't address it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to pinpoint any one symptom because
There's
everything
so
is
many.
connected. But in my experience, your body will start with little tiny symptoms and it'll get louder and louder over time when you don't address it. So, you might start off with just being a little tired all the time, and then you might start noticing some skin rashes. And then after some time you might start noticing something like debilitating joint pain, right? Things
Mm,
just, it starts escalating. Things get worse and worse and worse and worse. These aren't separate problems. Everything's coming from the same root causes. And what it boils down to is crap food, toxins, and stress.
mm-hmm.
I mean, that's oversimplified, but that's what it
Yeah.
boils down to. We really need to pay attention to letting our body rest. If you're tired, rest. Stop making yourself push through the fatigue. Your body's asking for rest. Give it
Mm-hmm.
rest. It needs it, right? We,
Mm-hmm.
we only heal when we're resting and sleeping. We can't heal when we're not. Focus on a clean, healthy, organic diet. Make as much stuff at home as you can,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do your best with that. Um, Toxins, you talked about the skin. It's not just about the lotions and creams we put on, it's about the clothes we wear too. And here's a big kicker. What really gets a lot of people is what they use to wash their clothes.
Yes.
If you wash your clothes in anything with fragrance, you are giving yourself a dose of xenoestrogens, which is an external toxic form of estrogen every time you put on your clothes. So men out there, think about this. You want your clothes to smell like Downy? Guess what? You're giving yourself an estrogen boost every time you wear your clothes. That gets to men a lot. They're
Right.
like,
So
what?
what is the downside of that when you do that? Because I don't know that you know, but I don't know that people know.
Okay. The downside is xenoestrogens.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, xenoestrogens, it is an estrogenic toxin that acts on our estrogen receptors in our body. I believe this is a big reason why females, especially, have been having their menarche earlier and earlier. They've been
Mm,
getting their period like six,
yeah.
7, 8, 9 years old now.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
a
wow.
lot of kids, a lot of girls are getting their periods really early now. Well, I think this is part of it. I think it's part of on the male side too. Anyway, um,
Yeah.
so these xenoestrogens, they're anything that has fragrance in it. Anything that has microplastics. So that's like chenille, like the soft furry clothes that have that
Yeah.
are made of microplastics. Drinking out of plastic bottles, using plastic in your cooking. All these different things. There are some others too, but
Mm-hmm.
we get these high dose of xenoestrogens, and they act on the estrogen receptors in our body as if it's estrogen, but it's unpredictable exactly how they're going to act. They also get stuck in
Mm,
our tissue. So we end up with estrogen dominant symptoms in our body. Our body gets overloaded with these toxins and it can't get rid of the excess estrogen. So for
mm,
women, that means early periods, that means painful and heavy periods, that means maybe painful breasts, a lot of cramping, a
mm-hmm.
lot of mood swings.
Wow.
So it can turn into things like hot flashes during menopause and night sweats and there's just a whole host of problems, but weight gain is another one. Weight gain and also
Mm-hmm.
these xenoestrogens. Estrogen is a growth hormone, causes things to grow.
Mm,
So think of tumors,
yeah.
right?
Wow.
When we start getting exposed to more
It
xenoestrogens.
it and it's interesting to think about that stuff and where my brain goes because there's still people out there, and I'm going to land on, you said a lot of stuff, but I'm going to land on the plastic water bottles. Um, People want to get water. They're told you need to drink more water. Your body needs to be able to absorb it. The cells need to be able to actually absorb it. So it's not just the water, but that you can actually do something with it. And there's this belief now with people that plastic, well, it's BPA free. Thank you. That was, I had a conversation with a friend recently about that, and it's like, no plastic, no plastic. And it's even worse because as you travel through, there's people that leave their plastic water bottles in the car in the heat, right? And I'm sure during transport this stuff happens. And my understanding is it's seeping in to the water even more. Can you
Yeah,
just say something about that? Because I have mine, right? Which is not plastic. Because of that. So glass is good as long as there's not plastic around it or like metal water things. But can you say a little bit about that?
yeah, sure. By the way, metal, not aluminum. Do you want stainless steel?
Well, yeah,
Stainless,
no,
yeah,
this
stainless
is
steel or
not,
glass,
yeah,
no
yeah.
aluminum.
Thank you for
Um,
that.
Yeah.
You're like, Michelle,
So
let's get clear on this too.
So it might be BPA free, but there are other chemicals that they use instead that are just as bad and possibly worse.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I can't remember the exact statistics. My son actually did a research project on this recently. But with the amount of toxins, there are just thousands and thousands of toxins that have been identified by the EPA, right? And
Hmm.
they only really research a couple every
Oh,
few years. So it takes, so I can't remember the exact statistic, but there's a very small amount that will get identified and taken and identified as toxic. And then once they are identified as toxic, it takes years, 3 to 7 years, I think it was,
to get it out of
to
the
actually phase
system.
them out. But
Okay.
there's a backlog of thousands of potential toxins. And by the way, they only test these toxins individually. They don't test them in
The
conjunction with each other,
combo, the
in
combo.
combo, like so multiple
So
exposure.
they're going to be playing off each other too to go to
Right.
different
So,
levels.
I mean, just because something isn't banned doesn't mean it's safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're
So,
so,
what I don't want to do is freak people out,
yeah,
right? So it is like there, for me, there are simple things that we can do. Again, we're leading ourselves. Simple things that we can do to minimize the amount of exposure we have
yeah,
to things that are, it's like I don't eat fast food. Um, I I I just
right.
don't. I used to. I thought it was okay.
Well, I
Um,
used to too before I
yeah.
knew any
So
better.
it's so funny when I look back on things, but what are, if you think about it, and I have not asked you this before, but it's just this conversation from your perspective and your experience, what are the top 2 to 3, 4 things that you think just out of the gate that you would tell clients of yours, patients, here's where to start. So people don't freak out because what you don't want
Yeah,
to do is increase cortisol and fear-based
right.
stuff and
Well,
everything else.
that's a good point. Let me talk to that first before I tell you, things I think are important for avoiding
Yeah.
toxins. We are not meant to be totally toxin free. Our bodies actually need some toxin exposure to help build resilience against toxins. So we need a challenge. Our bodies need challenge to get stronger.
It's like being around sick people. Don't avoid sick
Yeah,
people and use
right.
the term
Our bodies
saying
need a challenge to get
yeah.
stronger. I've seen people that are so afraid of any sort of toxicity that they are 24/7 freaking themselves out trying to figure out what's toxic and what's not, and it's like diminishing returns, right? They're
Hmm.
so stressed out about it that yeah, they might not be exposed to a lot of toxins anymore, but they're exposing themselves to an even worse toxin, probably the worst toxin, which is fear. Fear is more destructive to your body than many other physical toxins that you can be exposed to.
Hmm.
So take a deep breath, right? If you do your best, you'll be ahead of most people. But the few things you can do, I mean, avoid ultra processed foods, like as much as you can. Don't eat anything with a wrapper.
Hmm.
Don't eat anything with more than three ingredients on the label, if you can. Right? Go around your house and get rid of conventional cleaners. Get
Hmm.
rid of bleach. By the way, bleach does not kill mold. It just takes the color away and actually
Hmm.
encourages mold to spread.
Interesting.
Yes, I can go into that more in detail if you want, but
It's a passion for you, I can hear. But go ahead. What's the next
yes.
one?
Um, Bleach, ammonia, quaternary disinfectants.
What is
Get
it?
rid of
Disinfectants? What was that word you
quaternary
used?
disinfectants.
What
It's
does that mean?
things like the Windex and the
Oh, the
The
409s.
Lysol,
Okay.
Lysol.
Yeah.
Um, things with look for things with thymol in it. THYMOL. Thymol is a natural essential oil basically, and it's terrific at killing.
So we do want time off.
Yeah, thymol's great,
Okay.
but you don't want
Okay.
to drink it in full
No,
concentration.
no.
If you did, it wouldn't kill you probably, but it's not toxic. Yeah, thymol is great. So get rid of things like that. Get rid of anything that's scented, except, unless it's a pure
Natural essential
a natural
oils.
essential oil.
Yeah.
But you don't want scented candles. Definitely no Febreze or plug-ins. No Downy. Use wool dryer balls instead of
Mm-hmm.
dryer sheets.
Yeah.
Save money that way too, anyway, because you can reuse them over and over. And if you want some scent, put a few drops of essential oil on
Yeah, I was going to say you
them.
put essential oils on the balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get do an overhaul of your personal care products. Make sure they don't have preservatives and phthalates in them, and but there's a whole list of things you can do to really
Yeah.
start cleaning out your house and just your own personal environment.
Well, and I think the thing is too that you're talking about that matters. We're talking about inflation and everything else. It will most likely cost you less money
Hmm.
to be able to do it. It's going to be a little bit more front load work time. I mean, I look at like my dog, for instance, and I feed her raw diet. I make her food.
Yeah.
And I'll add ingredients to it and everything else, but there's so much added in that's so bad for them.
Yeah.
That it's just and after a while you do get used to the routine of what it is and you're doing fine. So yeah.
It takes a little bit of shift in habits and
Yeah.
mindset. I have clients where I'll tell them to get rid of this stuff. And they're like, well, I just bought a brand new big old bottle of Tide for my clothes. I'm going to use that first and then I'll get new stuff. I'm like, is your health really worth wasting $20, not wasting $20? Like, you'd rather make sure you're using that $20 bin of Tide
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're literally killing yourself slowly.
But
I,
it is that value proposition that we ended
yeah,
up going through and not realizing. So don't go into freak out mode, but realize that if you're, eating clean, you're doing all this stuff. I've had people say that too. Well, I'm going to finish this eating this first. I'm like, but why? Why?
if you do that, there's never going to be a good breaking point. You're always going to
No.
have something new that you want to finish off, And it's okay to gradually transition your house. I get it. We don't want to like just throw everything away and go buy
Yeah.
thousands of dollars worth of stuff to
Yeah.
replace.
Yeah.
But there also needs to be a sense of urgency with some of these things. And
Mm-hmm.
typically when I work with people, I'll give them one step at a time. Like, okay, this week go do this. Go
Yeah.
get rid of these things in your house and replace. Oh, well, I'll replace it, in a month when I'm done using that bottle. Like,
Yeah.
no, just get a big plastic trash bag, go around your house, and anything I said that's in this category, throw it away today.
Yeah. Purge.
Just
Purge.
do it.
It might be kind of fun to make up a list for people if you don't already have it of what's the phased approach look like to start transitioning over so it's not you know, blow it up and start over. So
Yeah.
one last thing is biggest transformation you've seen. Maybe there's top two or three that come to mind for you of where they started and where they ended up.
Um,
Uh,
Probably the biggest transformation I saw was a client who came to me after probably 30 years of chasing specialists and doctors and esoteric approaches and whatever else. Couldn't lose weight. She was on, I believe, it was 16 different pharmaceutical medications.
oh wow.
So she was on
Like
anti-cholesterol.
at one time?
At one time when she came to me, she was,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
For cholesterol, blood pressure, anxiety, depression, for GERD, acid reflux,
Oh,
headaches. I mean, there was just this huge allergies, bad allergies, this laundry list of stuff. And she's just like, I'm at my wit's end. And she actually came to me for the energy healing part of it, saying, I think what it comes down to is just my childhood trauma. I need to get rid of that, and then it'll all go away.
all,
Because she was
all
like,
would be good. All would be good.
because she said, well, I don't know where else to turn. You're kind of my last resort.
Mm,
Kind of person I normally see, but I don't know what else to do. So I started like I normally do. I looked at her symptoms, her labs, her her lifestyle, everything she's tried so far, right? We spent a lot of time digging into who she was as an individual. And little by little, we started healing her gut. I started coaching her how to work with her prescribers to start weaning off of medications that were appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
We did the energy work. And in 8 months, she had lost 65 pounds.
Wow.
She was down to 2 medications. She was no longer on antidepressants. She was walking 5 miles a day. When she came to me, she had so much pain she couldn't even barely stand up.
Wow.
She was walking 5 miles a day. She was happy with her husband again. They were out, doing things together. She loved herself again. So I mean, it's things like that that really are rewarding to see. When people do the work, it's not an easy transition. I give you the summary and it sounds like we just went step by step. I'll tell you, it was full of ups and downs. There were weeks she fell backwards. There were weeks she had doubts. There were things we tried that didn't work perfectly for her. So we had to kind of shift and adjust, and that's okay. That's what every healing journey looks like. There's ups and downs. There's backward and forward. There's doubts. There's happy days. There's sad days. There's times when you just need to take a break and breathe, right? But in the end, she really was a brand new person, and she wasn't visiting the doctor all the time. She was off of most of her medications. She was balanced. She was happy, much healthier, much more vibrant. So that was probably one of the biggest ones.
How does that make you feel?
Amazing. That's why I do this.
Yeah.
I love to see that transition. I love to see those success stories. I mean, I want to make this world a healthier place, one person at a time. And the more I can help people to be sustainably changed, to change in a way that's sustainable for them, where they can form new habits, where they can form new perspectives, they teach it to other people. They go and I had a woman go and do a presentation she had a presentation at her work, her job. They go around every Friday and someone gives a presentation on something to the rest of the people. They just kind of have a podium time. And she taught her colleagues about healthy eating and how it changed her and how much she enjoyed it. And it wasn't as hard as she thought it was going to be, and gave them tips. I'm like, that's awesome. So now we're spreading the love. Everyone's getting healthier and healthier, and our perspectives are changing, and people are waking up to the fact that there is something you can do to take back control of your health without having to go to the doctor all the time.
Well, and I'll end on this because all the stuff that you're talking about is, it's about how you experience life, and your health and your body is such a powerful component of that. So it's not just taking back your health, it's taking back your life. And I think a lot of people have gotten to the point that they may not believe that it can be any different than what it is now. And while you're a special snowflake, there are a lot of common things that happen in our body that I'm here to say, yes, you can. No, you don't have to deal with the way it is. And yes, you can make a change. And so I'm just grateful for people like you in the world that can help guide people through the change that they can make, because you're not going to go to your doctor and go, F you, I'm not going to take these 16 supplements anymore, because your body's going to go out of whack and you could die. So there is, to your point, a phased approach. And I love the fact that you're also there to help coach them how to have the conversations with their primary care, in the Western medicine world, to say, hey, what does this look like to unwind this stuff and get me back to a baseline of my body able to do what my body's able to do?
Yeah. And there actually does come a point with those prescriptions where your body starts to heal, and the prescriptions actually, your body starts reacting really badly to them because you don't need them anymore.
Yeah,
Right. So
sure.
it's, so there's a natural weaning period, but absolutely. And, I just want to give the caveat. I'm not saying all prescriptions are bad, right?
No.
They have their time and their place, and sometimes they are needed in certain situations. And in the grand scheme of things, most of the time the body is able to heal to a point where they're not necessary anymore.
Mm-hmm. Which is freaking exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I always enjoy the time in the room with you. Any one
Thank
last
you.
thought you want to leave people with out of all the stuff that we chatted with today?
You can heal at any age. Age is just a number. I want people to really get the message that they can take back control of their health and be in charge of their own health and not have to be a victim of a reactive mindset, a victim of genetics. That's not true. Genetics do not determine your health.
Yeah.
They influence it,
Yeah.
not determine it, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to really spread and emphasize the message of empowerment and being empowered. Don't ignore your body. Treat your symptoms like a gift. Listen to them, their communication. And
I love it.
when we listen.
Going back to the beginning, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. There is a different way to calculate your age. What was the other thing?
Oh yeah, yeah. My mom and I were joking that we're going to calculate our age in hexadecimal now.
Which she's 80 and
She's
well,
turning
it's
80, so
actually,
she's actually going to be 50 at hexadecimal this
there you
year.
go. There you
Yeah.
go.
And I'm
Change the way
32.
you look at things, and the things you look at will change. So your mother is now going to be turning 50.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
love
And
it.
she
I love
looks
it.
it too.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Have a freaking awesome day. This is Leadership Soundbites with Michelle and Cynthia. And until next time, truly appreciate liking, sharing, and subscribing. It matters. More people can learn and hear and get exposed to. Until next time, thank you.